Episode number 185.
Oftentimes, the business is growing faster on the outside than it is on the inside. That's the misalignment. Hey, we've got great revenue. We got money coming in, but our inside processes, our inside teamwork, direction or goals or future vision just isn't there.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, folks. I'm fired up today to bring you our featured guest, Monte Wyatt. Monte, are you ready to be real?
Yes, I am, Travis. How about you?
My man is ready. I'm ready. We're bringing it today. My man Monte helps executive coaches, and we're going to get into that, talk and build a strong, consistent, and profitable business with his proven holistic process. And so I'm very fascinated about this, because obviously there's a lot of businesses out there that don't profit. Lyft and Uber, a ton of these IPOs that are out there right now are not actually profitable. So my man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. We've given our listeners just a little insight, but how's your day going? What's going on today? We talked about the football, coming off a little tough football loss, but that's all right, because you're going to be You're going to be playing again this week, and you're going to be getting them back, right?
That's exactly right. Absolutely.
We got to change the coin when our team loses. We got to just say, all right, well, next week's the game. But then getting into your business specifically and helping executive coaches and CEOs, etc., is what made you start this business? What gave you the passion or fire to get into helping these executives maybe help get their business expand, bring new ideas, scale, etc.?
I spent 14 years in the agricultural chemical world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm a farm boy from Iowa, and went to Iowa State in ag business, and then went to work for a global chemical company, and was in roles of sales training, sales management, marketing management, really touched every aspect of the business, and spent a lot of my time traveling, and that's why I left 15 years ago. But that experience really helped me see what was good and what was bad about executives and the companies that lead are really the world in products and profit and growth. And so for the last 15 years, I've been working with business owners, executives, executive teams, CEOs, in helping them bring clarity to how they lead and manage their business. Because I do think that how the executive team goes, so goes the rest of the business. And right. If we don't have good leadership at the top, good management at the top, good vision at the top, good engagement at the top, the rest of the organization won't have it either.
Right. So when you work with these businesses, are you physically working with them in-house? Are you going into their business, or are you helping them via like a Zoom, or helping them kind of virtually?
All the above, depending on the relationship.
Right.
I have a number of clients that I see face-to-face every 90 days, where we facilitate the planning day for the next 90 days. We talk about strategy. We talk about some of the disciplines that business needs. And then we talk about how we're going to implement in the next 90 days. Gotcha. And so that's a face-to-face. But in between, to hold them accountable, I do have ongoing phone calls or Zoom calls or connections to make sure that we're implementing the items that we discussed and decisions that we made.
Do you find that's sometimes the hard part, is them actually getting to implement? Like they're like all excited after they talk to you, and then nothing happens, or they have a real struggle to implement?
Well, it's easy, and this happens to you and I as well. We have great plans, and then the world gets in the way. We have a fire here. We have this personal issue here. We have this team issue. Somebody left or whatever it is, and so we get redirected. And it is about we can't spend 100% of our time being proactive. We're always going to have things like that, but we should be spending a majority of our time being proactive in how we're guiding the business, how we're leading ourselves, how we're making movement towards the results that we're after.
Right. And right now I have a question is, what do you find is like the biggest challenge for a CEO, executive, or even actually this is even bringing this down. Say a small business owner that owns the business, say they got 25 employees. what is one of their biggest problems right now? What is one of the biggest challenges you're hearing from them right now?
I'm going to use a word that maybe you haven't heard before, but I use this based on what I see. I think there's a lot of challenge getting everyone aligned
Aligned.
because, we can talk about engagement. We can talk about finding and recruiting and hiring the right people. We can talk about getting new clients, but you get to the root issue. The team is not aligned. We're not aligned on what are the goals that we have as a company. We're not aligned on what's the culture that we desire, what's the values that we live for. We're not aligned on how in my role am I helping fulfill the goals of the organization.
Right.
So I think I think there's a lack of alignment in most organizations or many organizations out there. And when I say alignment, I mean 100% of the team needs to be on the same page.
Yeah.
This is where we're headed. This is how each of us are getting there. This is how we're going to behave. This is how we're going to work with our clients. And when we have a gap in alignment, people don't or claim they don't know.
Right.
And so it makes a challenge for positive and proactive work to happen.
I can only imagine it can be challenging to have everyone on the same phone call or on the same Zoom. If like there's people got to be working, if you're a restaurant, someone's got to be still serving plates somewhere and you still got to be doing this and that. How is there a strategy that you've seen or a way to save time and be productive, but also have everyone meet and kind of stay on the same page? How do you envision doing that?
It's a message of communication. It doesn't always have to be or need to be all face to face.
Gotcha.
It's reinforcement.
Gotcha.
As an executive team, they're busy people. They're focused. They got a million things going on, and they tell their team once, and they think they should know it.
Right.
We have to reinforce it. We have to live by it. I want to share a message, and it's probably, I don't know, it's going to be, let's see, 30 years ago already. No, 20 years ago. Sorry, getting older. 20 years ago, I went through a merger in the large organization that I was with. And almost on day one of the completion of the merger, every employee got this packet. And in this packet was our brand new core values and direction. It was something that everyone should put on their desk. Well, that's great for day one. But the challenge was that no one ever talked about it.
Right.
No one ever even mentioned it. I'm guessing that the executive team or through this merger, somebody paid a big consulting company $500,000 and they created these core value statements. But the leadership team, the management team, the executive team didn't do anything with it.
They didn't follow up with it.
And when I talk about alignment and communication, it's a constant thing. It's how are we communicating with our team every month? If it's a manager, how am I communicating with my team every week to reinforce why we do what we do, why this process is right? This is reinforcing that we're living the right way in our values.
Right. Are you finding that there are certain types of businesses that you really thrive with or love working with?
To me, it's not about industry. It's about mindset. And if a CEO or leadership team wants to grow and change their business and they see that they don't have all the answers, not saying I have the answers, but they have to be open to new ideas. They have to be open to new ways of thinking. And there are a lot of folks out there that aren't open to a third party helping them.
Yeah.
And so I've had almost every industry under the sun. There's businesses that I've helped that I didn't even know existed, but it's about more the mindset of the team and the CEO more than it is the type of industry.
Right. Because they're not going to implement or align if they just kind of want just one quick fix and then it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If they just want like, oh, let's just come in and Monty, just come in and talk to our people about everything. And then thanks a lot.
Yep.
It's like, that ain't going to help. That ain't going to help. It's going to get them excited for one day. And then the next thing you know, they're back to their old ways. So the consistency is like, almost like if you have a big old packet like that, you need to like each week be going through a paragraph of it and be like, talk through what this paragraph means. And like, okay, based on what this mission statement says, these are some things that we can do this week to help our customers better. Or, trying to like really kind of, it's just like anything in reading or anything in a good book or a good movie or a good anything. Sometimes you just need to refresh and watch that again because your mind forgets some of that stuff.
And oftentimes the business is growing faster on the outside than it is on the inside.
Right.
And I think that's the misalignment. Hey, we've got great revenue. We got money coming in, but our inside processes, our inside teamwork, our inside communication, our inside direction or goals or future vision just isn't there.
Are all misaligned.
And so good economies hide the things that we don't have or that we're not doing well.
Right.
And so when a bad economy comes, it shows all of our wounds.
That's true. Yeah, I think we might even be in a bad economy. You don't know. I mean, I always see all sorts of different things from everyone under the sun. I mean, I still believe in our world or our economies long term, but there's always going to be bumps in the road. And yeah, I mean, you don't know right now. We never know. But I think it feels like the economies are having a little bit of a pullback as far as
well, I think the world has a good way of guiding the consumer.
Right.
And the media can guide them in wrong places.
Right.
And if we say it's a great world and everybody goes out and spends money, if we say that we're having trouble, people hold back
a little bit. Yeah.
And, so we kind of, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, yep. Yeah. Business is looking pretty tight. Well, we're going to take a few weeks. We're not going to spend. And then all of a sudden, the economy's slowing down. Well, you just told the world not to spend money.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I say if you can, try to not watch as much media as possible. I mean, I still like to catch up on the news and catch up on some things and see what's going on, but I find that you get sucked into those things, man. I mean, you just never come out. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just they just want to keep you on their program. They want to keep you on your network for as long as possible. But my man, we're about to take you now into our top 10. Are you ready?
You bet.
Apple or Android?
Ooh, Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Chicken or steak?
Steak.
And if you're working, would you prefer a laptop or a smartphone?
Ooh, laptop.
Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify.
Movies or video games?
Oh, man, that's a good one. With my kids, some video games. With my wife, movies.
Oh, there you go. Best of both worlds. Reading books or listening to books?
Reading.
Stocks or real estate?
Stocks.
Oceans or lakes?
Lakes.
Lakes, baby. I like it. And when you wake up in the morning and you're getting ready for the day and it's a Monday and you look at yourself in the mirror, why do you love being you? Why do you love being Monte Wyatt?
I love how small changes that I help my clients with make big results.
Ooh.
And, the book that I published the last couple of months is Pulling Profits Out of a Hat. And it is about the small things, the small twists. And so many times we walk right past the little things because we're going after something big. And we have to act on the little things because the little things are what keeps us from truly growing and adding zeros.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think that's so true. Pulling profits from the hat, you said, right?
Pulling profits out of a hat.
Out of a hat. I love that. Pulling profits.
We did a great job in May. We hit a couple bestseller lists, Wall Street Journal, USA Today. So we've had some great,
that's awesome
impact. So yeah, we've been pretty excited about the support that we've gotten.
Good job, brother. And we'll put that for sure in the show notes as well. I just wanted to make sure I had that correct so we can get that in the show notes. And do you think you'll ever retire?
Oh, I don't want to continue working as hard as I do forever. I want to enjoy the world. I want to travel, but there's a lot of people I want to influence out in the world yet. So I got a ways to go.
Ways to go. And maybe you just, slow down the work a little bit. You don't have to work quite as hard.
You got it.
Still travel and still do your thing, and then or create someone to take on your system and do it for you.
Well, and that's what we've done is with Pulling Profits Out of the Hat, we have licensed and we are licensing facilitators to help CEOs and their executive teams implement the concepts.
There you go.
We've got facilitators all around the world, which is very exciting.
That is awesome.
So we're making a big splash around the world, and that's we want to add zeros all around the world, and that's how we see doing it.
That is awesome. That is fascinating that you're doing that. Facilitators that help kind of take the knowledge and actually then implement it.
You got it. Absolutely.
Wow, Monty, you're smart, man. I'm gonna continue to keep looking you up, man. That is very cool. And then also, do you have a skill right now that you're wanting to master or get better at? Is there something you're like, I'm trying to get better at this?
I am getting better, focusing on getting better at that balance of the personal life and the business life.
Right.
Just so many things going on. The book, the facilitators, a lot of growth, and that does cause a challenge to the personal side, and it's very easy for all of us to get caught up in the business side of it and the momentum. And so I'm choosing to be very intentional with that, but it's still a challenge. So I got to keep focused on it every day.
Right. That's where the video time comes, right? Video games, a little fun times with your kids and stuff. Stay connected, watch a movie with the wife.
You got it.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest challenges. They don't talk about that. I was talking to my wife about that. It's like, it depends on whatever you do, but like, no matter what business it is, the bigger it gets, it becomes harder.
Absolutely. And
that's not easier. It's like,
that's exactly right. And you do have to find ways. And that's a piece of the book, is helping people see that leverage, helping people find the executive team. How do we create leverage in the business? Because the business should outlast us.
Right.
And if we're doing the right things, we're building a team, we're building a structure, we have a strategy, we have a clear vision of where we're headed with the right goals. And the business should outlast us if we're creating the right things.
Right. Yeah, like Walmart, McDonald's, so a lot of these businesses, they've outlasted the founder. Disney, and gone tenfold. I mean, with the new CEO, I think he's been one of the smartest CEOs ever. He's buying Star Wars, buying Marvel, buying this and that, and buying this and that, and making money on like the first releases of it, just like paying it the whole thing back. And okay, we made one movie. Okay, that pays back Marvel's assets. Unbelievable.
And that's leverage.
That is unbelievable.
Leverage. Every business needs to define what is their leverage, and leverage is doing more with less. What can we go out and purchase, or what technology, or what about our processes that we can leverage that can cause us to expand and grow at less cost and get a great return.
Leverage, baby. Leverage. That's true. That's hard to do. It's not just scary, especially because if you're risk adverse, you're a little scared to take some of these risks.
But part of the risk, if you're a CEO or executive team or even a business owner, you're taking a bigger risk if you don't create leverage.
Right.
Because if the business is based on you, or your executive team, or it's things that you have to specifically do, and something happens to you, that is unsustainable for the business, and there is no leverage. And so you are at a bigger risk if you do not choose creating leverage in your business, because if something happens, then the business is over. You want to create leverage so that others can succeed even after you're gone, which could be today, or it could be 10 years from now.
Right. That's fascinating. I love that. I'm like, dang, that speaks to me too. I'm like, dang, I think it would be hard for real time to keep running if it wasn't for me. And that's hard to do, man. So Be Real tonight for dinner. If you could sit down for dinner with anyone in the world, who would it be?
Ooh, anyone in the world. I want to learn from Steve Jobs and his creativity.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
I think that's what I want to learn from him, or even the Rockefellers, to understand the thought process of how they made the decisions that they did. I don't just want to see the products or the services or the technology that they brought. I want to understand their thought process.
The thoughts. Yeah, like what made you think to do this? Make fonts on different emails, and that changes up like everything. Or like every font we have is basically almost thanks to Apple. And thanks to Steve Jobs, is like the fact that we have different types of font settings on email and all this. It's very fascinating. Truly amazing. Could you give our listeners, my man, one last real talk thought?
My last thought is, we all should be thinking about how to add zeros to our business. And when I say add zeros, it's not just revenue and profit. It's adding zeros in satisfying the customer, satisfying the team, satisfying the communities that we're a part of, satisfying the company long term. And yes, we have to satisfy our stakeholders, but if we only satisfy stakeholders and not the team, not the customer, not the long-term company, it is tough to truly be a longevity company. And that's what it's about, how to get your business to outlast you.
Oh, that is a good one. How to get your business to outlast you. I love that. That's a good one. And where's the best place for people to find you?
You can find me at addZerosNow.com. That's where you can learn more about pulling profits out of a hat and our facilitators. And that's a great place to get started. You can learn more about our process.
Well, folks, you've been hanging out with Monte Wyatt and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today.